attack in Alexandria.
Shots being fired, and there are people running, possibly victims involved.
A gunman opens fire on a congressional baseball practice. A congressman and several others hurt.
You have a baseball bat, they have a rifle, you're defenseless.
The terrifying moments and the search for a motive.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vic Carter. Here's what people are talking about. A gunman opens fire at a congressional baseball practice outside Washington, D.C. this morning. A congressman was shot along with 4 other victims. The suspect was also shot and killed. It happened at a baseball field outside a YMCA in Alexandria, Virginia. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise of Louisiana is in critical condition. Several other victims still are hospitalized. WJZ is live with complete coverage of the Alexandria attack. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren live near the scene of that shooting with the latest on the investigation, what we're learning about the shooter. Kimberly Eaton is on Capitol Hill with reaction from lawmakers. Marcus Washington with witness reaction. Let's start with Mike.
Vic, there's still a large police presence here at the scene. Among those shot, a congressman, a congressional aide, a lobbyist, and 2 Capitol police officers by a man who disliked the president and came well armed. First responders carry one of the nation's most powerful congressmen, Republican Majority Whip Steve Scalise, on a stretcher from an Alexandria, Virginia ball field moments after he was shot in the hip. Representative Scalise was one of 5 shot here, including 2 Capitol officers, by a gunman identified as James Hodgkinson from Illinois.
I can tell you, for governors, our #1 responsibility is to keep our communities safe. And this is a discussion we ought to have of how we keep our communities safe. And clearly there are way too many guns on the street.
Early on in the investigation, where we are right now, we think we have a really good handle on it. We just want to run out a couple details before we confirm other additional stuff.
The FBI is now handling the investigation. Fellow congressmen described the chaos that erupted just after 7 o'clock this morning.
I got Steve Scalise's phone and called his wife, and I just didn't want her to wake up and hear the news.
Congressman Scalise is a friend, and a very good friend. He's a patriot, and he's a fighter. He will recover from this assault. And Steve, I want you to know that you have the prayers not only of the entire city behind you, but of an entire nation.
The gunman was well armed. Police say it's too early to talk motive or how long Hodgkinson had been planning the attack that has left Washington and America in shock. And Congressman Scalia is at MedStar Washington Hospital Center in critical condition at last check. We expect another press conference here tonight at 5:30. Live at the scene in Alexandria, Mike Helgren, WJZ Eyewitness News.
Mike, thank you. WJZ Live complete coverage continues now with Kimberly Eaton at the U.S. Capitol with reaction there to the attack. Kimberly.
And Vic, there is no question that this has been a unifying moment on Capitol Hill. Members of both parties sending their thoughts to the injured and those who were there during the attack, describing minutes of gunfire.
There were dozens, if not hundreds, of shots fired. It was scary.
8 miles from that scene where the shooter opened fire on GOP representatives, staffers, and their police protectors. Their colleagues quickly reacting to the attack on the political main stage. House Speaker Paul Ryan.
An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Followed by House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Again, we are not one caucus or the other in this House today, but we speak for each other in saying that we send our thoughts and prayers to our colleague, Steve Scalise.
Opening Wednesday's hearings with remarks on the isolated attack that has sent shockwaves across political lines. Maryland Democratic Representative Dutch Ruppersberger says his immediate reaction was outrage.
Instead of practicing baseball, our members are dodging bullets instead of baseballs.
It's sparking a moment of unity on Capitol Hill, a tragedy that bridges the aisle.
And today it's not about being a Democrat or being a Republican, but working towards the common good.
And we've heard that echoed from just about every political leader whom we've spoken with here today. Of course, all of them, some you heard sending their thoughts and prayers to the injured and also praising Capitol Police. Back to you.
Kimberly, thank you. Our complete coverage continues now with Marcus Washington, who was with a witness who was nearby when the shooting happened. Marcus.
Well, Vic, it was a very busy scene this morning around there when those shots were fired. As you said, there is a YMCA near the baseball field, and the people inside actually had to be forced to stay in place. Now, take a look. This is the scene from Alexandria, Virginia this morning after those shots were fired. Some of those shots actually made it into the YMCA building. One witness who was trying to leave the gym describes what he saw.
They were exchanging fire. I believe one of the police officers' rounds passed through the YMCA windows. 2 rounds hit the windows. One went through and landed in the pool. Another lodged between 2 panes of glass. No one shows up at a baseball field with an AK-47 accidentally.
With all that going on, the good news from the YMCA, no one was hurt inside. We are live tonight. I'm Marcus Washington, WJZ Eyewitness News.
Marcus, thank you. There's more information emerging about the suspect and his past. We're going back to WJZ investigator Mike Kellgren live at the scene with what we're learning about James T. Hodgkinson. Mike.
Vic, he often ranted about the president on various social media platforms, and tonight his background from here in Virginia to his home in Illinois is coming into clearer view. 66-year-old gunman James Hodgkinson traveled from his home in southern Illinois to Alexandria, Virginia, where armed with an M4-style assault rifle, he opened fire on Republican congressmen. His longtime friend can't believe it.
I just want to let people know that he wasn't evil, that he was, I guess, tired of some of the politics that are going on.
Some believe this was a politically motivated attack. On Facebook, Hodgkinson called President Trump a traitor and said he was destroying the nation. He worked on Senator Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign.
I am sickened by this despicable act.
The FBI was at Hodgkinson's rural home in Belleville, Illinois. His hometown newspaper says he was politically active, often writing about various causes. It's unclear if he specifically targeted Representative Steve Scalise. Another congressman remembers seeing him and talking to him just before the attack.
I did have an interaction with someone in the parking lot who asked me if the team practicing was a Democrat or a Republican team. I told him they were Republicans. He said, "Okay, thanks," turned around. I got in the car and left, found out that my Republican colleagues were targeted by an active shooter today.
Hodgkinson may have carried the secrets of his rampage to his grave.
Through the years, he didn't back down from stuff. I mean, he was in a few fights and stuff like that, but nothing that would demonstrate violence as far as what he did.
Hodgkinson had a run-in with his neighbors in Illinois after using his rifle for target practice around his home. The sheriff describes his encounter with him as cordial back then in March. Reporting live in Alexandria, Mike Kellgren, WJZ Eyewitness News.
Mike, thank you. And here's what we need to know about the attack in Alexandria. Representative Steve Scalise was shot at a congressional baseball practice this morning. He is listed in critical condition. 4 other people were also shot in the attack. The gunman was shot and killed by Capitol Hill police. The suspect identified as James Hodgkinson. Stay with WJZ for complete coverage of this attack on members of Congress at baseball practice in Alexandria. We'll continue to bring you the latest on the investigation and the conditions of the victims. Then be sure to stay tuned for a special hour-long edition of the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. That's at 7 o'clock tonight right here on WJZ.